Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing an audiobook that I listened to, and that's why I'm going to have nothing to show you, so you'll just have to imagine the cover. But I listened to an audiobook and I wanted to share it with you because I had a great time reading it. So let's talk about it. The book I read was a cozy mystery, which I do like reading. I find they're usually very easy to digest. They're kind of just a fun book. They are kind of a palate cleanser. I think my aunt and I had this discussion. I have an aunt who really likes to read, who I like talking books with. And sometimes when you read something so good, you just need something to read after it that's just a palate cleanser. You're not expecting it to be the next great American novel, but you don't want it to be total trash because you know anything you read after a really good book feels like a disappointment. Does anyone else have this experience? So you almost have to pick up something that's going to be light, fun, easy to read. You can get through it in a day and you just kind of move on and can restart your reading journey rather than being stuck for 3 weeks thinking about the wonderful book that you read that nothing will be able to compare to. I find that I had this problem. I don't know if you have this problem. Let me know below. But I actually hadn't read I had read good books, but I wasn't in that situation when I picked this up. I just knew that I liked cozy mysteries and I wanted to give this one a listen because I had some long car rides that I needed to take care of. So I checked out 2-Part Sugar, 1-Part Murder by Valerie Burns. This is book 1 in the Baker Street series. I do find with cozy mysteries you don't have to start at the beginning, but in this case I did. I hadn't read anything by Valerie Burns, so I didn't know what I was getting into, but I dove in and I wound up being very pleasantly surprised. 2-Part Sugar, 1-Part Murder follows our main character, Maddie Montgomery, who is a kind of online celebrity, like an influencer type person. She comes from a military family, so her father is high up in the Navy, but she herself was not in the military. She's very privileged. She has a lot of money. She has a lot of experience, like in traveling the world, and is just used to nice things in life, but she doesn't really have any direction. She is living in California and she actually just got stood up at her wedding, which is being live streamed on Instagram. She's humiliated. She just wants to figure out what's happening in her life. And she finds out that her great aunt has passed away in Michigan. Her great aunt has willed her bakery and her house. And so we start this series with Maddie going to Michigan to take care of that. Initially, Maddie just wants to offload this stuff, maybe get a little bit of cash, and get out of town. She's not interested in living in the Midwest. In her opinion, it's cold, it's the middle of nowhere. What is she gonna do there? But she goes there and she discovers that a stipulation of her great aunt's will is that she needs to retain control of the bakery and live in the house for 1 year. Her aunt wants her to get integrated in the community, and you also kind of get the sense that her aunt thinks that she's a lot more potential in her than she has been using by just acting, I don't want to say like acting a little silly, but she has not been living up to her full potential. She's kind of been floating through life, and she even admits sometimes she kind of plays herself a little down to get the attention of men, and I think her great aunt was a little disappointed with this. So Maddie unfortunately has decided that she's going to stay. Her great aunt, though, as she starts getting involved in the community and start working at the bakery, something that she's never had to do before, she realizes that there's questions in the manner that her aunt died. Maybe it wasn't all natural. They told her that she slipped and fell down some stairs, but maybe there was a little help in the slipping part of that. And then some people start turning up dead because it's a cozy mystery, and Maddie has to figure out what's going on to reopen her bakery, and also in the process she gets integrated with the town and gets to know the people. It's a cozy mystery. We know what to expect. But this book, while initially hesitant on it, became very, very good. I was initially hesitant because in the first kind of scene, Maddie's boarding this plane to go to Michigan, and she kind of just info dumps to get the plot started to a priest who's sitting next to her, and I felt like it was kind of clunky, so I was like, I don't really know how I'm gonna feel about this. I feel like that could have been introduced a little more smoothly, and I'm not grading cozy mysteries very harshly, so it did kind of stand out to me. But the hesitation went away when we really got into the story. I did listen to this on audiobook, and I think the person who read the audiobook did a really good job. I don't know if it was the author or not, but it was just a really good audiobook, and the narrator really sucks you into the story. And once that initial clunky scene got past, I really got into the story and I was really engrossed in it, and I really thought that it was funny and also had the right mix of romance and humor and mystery to keep me engaged. So Sometimes I don't care about the romantic happenings in the cozy mystery. Sometimes the humor isn't really that funny. It's more of a focus on the mystery, but this really had all three elements in perfect balance, and I really, really liked it. I also liked some of the side characters, like the sheriff that we get to know in town. I think the side characters really added to the story. They didn't just feel like props who were being moved around, and the mystery was interesting enough to keep me engaged. Overall, I had a really good experience. Normally, I rate cozy mysteries 3 out of 5 stars. They're just, like I said, kind of a palate cleanser most of the time. They're enjoyable, but they're not the next great American novel, which no shade to our cozy mystery authors. They are doing a great service and they're probably making more money than me, so I can't really complain. But Valerie Burns, I can tell, has a talent, and I really enjoyed this entry in this series. I want to read book 2 in this series, so I hope my library gets it. I'd probably listen to it on audiobook again, as long as the same narrator was narrating it, because I had such a good experience on the first one. I actually rated this book 4 stars because I really, really enjoyed it. And to rate a cozy mystery 4 stars the cozy mystery really has to stand out for me. So the fact that it got 4 stars shows just how much I enjoyed this series. If you're looking for a cozy mystery series, I can recommend this entry. 2-part sugar, 1-part murder. That's what it is, by Valerie Burns. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. If you've read this series and have any comments, or this entry in the series and have any comments, please let me know. I would love to hear it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.